What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a recent report that came back up. Adrian, what's the guy named Adrian Wojciechowski? Made Wojnarowski. Adrian Wojnarowski made a report about LeBron James back in 2008, right? And a report basically said that that 2008 NBA team really didn't want LeBron James on there, right? And the reason why they didn't want LeBron James on there because LeBron James was he was kind of like arrogant. He was like rude to people and he was being a nuisance and stuff like that. And so they thought that his attitude, LeBron James' attitude, would really mess up like the chemistry and everything of the of Team USA. And the coach, Mike Krzyzewski, really probably thought, and he thought that this team would be successful or had enough talent with just Kobe Bryant on there, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and all those guys that they could win without LeBron James. So what happened was they had Nike step in there to LeBron James and talk to LeBron James and tell him to really to get himself together, like cool it on the attitude, right? And so I guess LeBron James, I guess he wound up doing that and he got it together. Also the report said that Jason Kidd was almost like his handler, LeBron James handler to kind of like show LeBron James some professionalism, how to be more professional and just more respectful of the people, around him, the people in that who was participating in those Olympics. So that just proves to me that like for a long time, like LeBron James, because this is an old story and it's resurfacing now. And I got two takes on why it's resurfacing now. But that just shows me that LeBron James has always felt like he was entitled. And he's felt like he's been entitled because this is something that the NBA did. They made by making LeBron James the chosen one, calling him King James and all this other stuff. They did this instead of allowing LeBron James to come into the league and work for whatever he got. They wanted to, I guess, since Kobe was retiring, they wanted to just pick up the next person and just make them the face of the league. And so when they did that, they empowered LeBron. And once they empowered LeBron, that right there just made him feel like he was entitled, and he didn't have to put that work in. And so it came back, all that stuff came back to bite, Nike. It came back to bite the league, and that's why the league is in the position that it's in now, or since LeBron James has been the face of the league. Ratings are down. Um, you know, uh, Ticket sales, people not watching the games like they used to. The interest is not there, and so that merchandise is not selling the way that they would expect it to be. And so now this type of stuff is coming out because I believe the powers that be, are not happy with LeBron James. They're not satisfied with the work that LeBron James put in for what they gave LeBron. I would bet that they almost feel like they feel cheated because LeBron James also, on a few occasions, I would say he has also bitten the hand that feeds him. Like he made a statement one time, well, not just one time, a few times about like the NBA could possibly be rigged, like the draft part of it could be rigged. He made that comment recently when he spoke about the Dallas Mavericks getting that first pick, and then he also said that about like when he went to Cleveland, he thought that the draft was rigged, right? And which I don't think it was wise for him to even to talk about that subject, knowing that he's a partner. He's in bed with the NBA. Like that's his partner. And as long as you are partnering with them, that it wouldn't make sense, whether you believed it or not, for you to speak on that. And if you spoke publicly on it, it would make sense for you to deny that. But that is just an example of some of the missteps that I think that LeBron James has made throughout his career. And I think that the closer that LeBron James get to retiring, I think more of these articles are going to come up. More people are going to come forward, and I think that I think LeBron James. I think they're going to give LeBron James his wake up call. And they're going to show LeBron James like how displeased they was with his performance and how he handled his career. I think there's going to be, in my opinion, there's going to be some backlash to that. And that's why I think like all of these things are really all this stuff about LeBron James is just coming up, and it's more and more the closer that he get to retirement. I think that LeBron James realized that, and I think that LeBron James he's probably right now in scramble mode. He's doing more interviews, and he's doing a podcast now that like LeBron James didn't used to do that. He just had his media team out there just basically trying to trying to like control the narrative about LeBron James. But now it's to the point where his media team is not enough. Like, so LeBron James have to go out there and make some public statements himself on these different platforms to get his base, the people who really believe in LeBron James, to follow or to rally around LeBron James as he get closer to retirement. I think that LeBron James, like I said, I think he know that like the storm is on the horizon when it comes to LeBron James. I don't think that Michael Jordan just coming to NBC is Michael Jordan he don't really speak publicly. Now all of a sudden, I don't think that was Michael Jordan's decision for Michael Jordan to come back to NBC and speak publicly. But because of the state of the NBA and the fact that the powers that be in the NBA and the sponsors and stuff like that, like Nike, they are not pleased with LeBron James. And they see the effect that Michael Jordan has had on the league. When he put out that Last Dance documentary, that really right there just showed anybody who has any doubts about like Michael Jordan and his effect on basketball, even people who were born after Michael Jordan retired in 02 or 03, whenever he retired. Even people who they still wearing his shoes, his what I mean, like the merchandise. Um, I mean, his effect, man, like when he let that documentary go, that right there just showed like the reach and the power and the influence that Michael Jordan still had over basketball, and people who were able to see Michael Jordan play and play with Michael Jordan during that time, that just was like reminiscent. That just made everybody reminisce. And then that got people to talking, like younger people talking to older people who was around to see Michael Jordan play, and they were, and the story started to come back out. And that's something that LeBron James, he couldn't compete with that. That right there, LeBron James could definitely not compete with that. And although Michael Jordan don't say anything publicly about that GOAT argument, I think Michael Jordan take things personally because Michael Jordan love and respect the game of basketball. And so if you love and you respect the game of basketball, and then you see somebody who's not showing their appreciation to the game, they're not dedicated to the game like Mike and Kobe and Magic and Bird was, Isaiah, all the greats, Charles Barkley, he's not dedicated to the game, like putting in the type of work that they put in. I think that right there rubs Michael Jordan the wrong way. I think it rubs Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, the Larry Bird. I don't think that's sit right with those guys. Isaiah, all those guys, man, they appreciate basketball for what basketball is. They appreciate basketball for what basketball has done for them in their lives. And even the fans feel that way. You know, like everybody who got to see all those guys play, you got to see Kobe play. You don't really get that from LeBron James. You know, you got a guy who was he was in office and he just slacked in office. And I think the fact that he slacked in office is really going to come back and bite him. Um, I don't know in what ways, but I think that even under the best of circumstances, the media like to build people up and tear them down. But when you give them reason, well, the powers that be, I would say, like to build people up and tear them down. The media is just a tool. But when you give them reason to tear you down, this is going to be I said this before in other videos. This is going to be something that's unprecedented. Like what I think, like and I'm not even wishing anything bad, but that's just how things work. You know, like the powers that be, they build you up and they tear you down. They did Michael Jordan the same way to a certain extent. You know, he wasn't able to, the way they treated him when he was with the Wizards, and he wasn't able to get that team that he wanted. You know, he wasn't able to buy the Wizards, and he wanted the Wizards. And the Chicago management has always been, like that with Michael Jordan. They really don't for all everything Michael Jordan has done for Chicago. That those the Jerry Reinsdorf and the owner and all that stuff. They really didn't show Mike the type of appreciation that a lot of people thought that that he should get. And so we're going to see LeBron James, man. He's going to get his wake up call. I think like the day after retirement, it's going to be all it's going to be it's gonna be all in. I mean, it's everything is just gonna really hit the fan the day after LeBron James retire, and I truly believe that, and not because I want to see something happen. Like I don't want to see things happen, but that's just the way things work. That's just the way certain people operate, and I don't think that LeBron James they're going to allow LeBron James to walk off into the sunset and retire after playing 22 years with all those checks, um, and not really putting forth the effort that that the powers that be wanted to see. Everybody who Isaiah Thomas retired because he had a ton of nagging injuries. Larry Bird retired because he had messed up feet and ankles. Magic Johnson had a medical condition that called for his retirement. Michael Jordan, his knees was by the time he retired, his knees was messed up. And then you talking about LeBron James is retiring and he's in the best shape in his life. That's not how business people work. They want to see when you get off work, they want you to be tired. They want to know that you gave them an honest day's work. And LeBron James did not give them an honest day's work. And they feel cheated. And so this is going to be special right here. The situation with LeBron James is going to be different. And I think he realizes that if he don't, then he is he's delusional. But yeah, that's my take on it. I'm just sitting back, man. I'm gonna continue to make these videos about LeBron James and what's going on with LeBron James, man. And basically, I do this because I just think that I like basketball, and anytime I see somebody who playing basketball the way basketball should be played, then I appreciate that. But when I see somebody who tries to cheat the game and somebody who tries to manufacture success like that, then I just got to call it out. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just calling it out. And so that's my take on it. Like I said, with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.